Welcome to another horrid, terrible, socially unacceptable episode of the apocalypse. And congratulations for choosing the apocalypse, by the way. Seems I forgot something, or forgotten something. And since you have unwisely chosen the apocalypse, you are in urgent need of a guide. Unbloody fortunately for me, I happen to be that guide, your humble guide, Nicholas. So good to bloody see you a bloody gain. Well, it appears it was quite a dark day for America. Or excuse me, dying America. More troops deployed on more of your streets for a different reason this time. A new blanket has been taken out of the closet by the Reich. The old blanket said illegal alien. The new blanket says homeless. Says something else. I warned all that new groups would be added over time. For the point is to get to you. Even a novice student of history can see the bloody, glaring parallels, son. Yet so many of you do not. That is why your country is over. Let us begin, because there's a lot of evil here. This is what I woke up to. Breaking news. Trump to deploy National Guard in Washington, D.C. Yes, more troops of your own troops on your own streets. And I know it's just a pesky liberal area, right? Who cares, right? Don't worry, they'll get to your street too. I swear to Christ they will. Because you were stupid enough to put your name on this and allow this, so do you think they're going to stop? Are you stupid? Great headline, right? In America, deploying troops. There's no invasion, there's no nothing, just, some say very strongly staged event by the most famous member of Doge. So, hey, let's put troops on the street for the second time. I told you once he put troops on the streets of LA and there was no backlash, or not enough, not even close. That was a precedent being set, and we can never go back. And that was the beginning of the military takeover of your country. These people have had these plans for a long time. Donnie wanted to do all this in the first term. He just didn't have the sycophants. There were people willing to say no at a certain point. These people won't. So now the plan will be implemented because Donnie didn't win a re-election. So he didn't have to wait 8 years to stage a coup or take over the government. He had to rush it and stage a coup, financed by a lot of people, by the way. So Donnie learned that don't give him a chance to stop the coup. That's why you're going to have troops surrounding the White House now. That way it's over. He can do whatever he wants for the rest of time till he croaks. And no one can do shit because there's troops on the street in D.C. What the fuck you going to do? I told you, Cali was the beginning of the military takeover of your country. All the warnings we have been given for the past 10 years, they were not exaggeration or drama. I keep telling you people, I'm not this guy you've been watching for 20, 30 years. Different programs that are just mad because someone won the election that they don't like. That is not me, son. I wouldn't waste my time on it. I knew 10 years ago this motherfucker was going to take us to places that we can't even imagine. Horrible places. So all of us out here that have been yelling, you know, this guy's like a dictator. He wants to do horrible things. He's a Nazi, etc. This is starting to look like Hitler stuff here. No one was exaggerating. No one was being dramatic. We are not you, son, who spent years of your life just talking about presidents you don't like or whatever. I don't sell snake oil. I'm here for a very dire reason. Otherwise, I would fucking not be. I got better things to do, man. Trust me. So again, don't ever look at me like you did for 30 years watching Alex Jones. That was a fucking joke. That was the helping of the takeover of your nation, what that man was doing. He was a featured speaker at Dugan's conference a few months ago. Yeah, he was part of this. You fucking idiots. And again, I know you thought the liberals were going to do it. No, son, it was you. It was Alex. It was all of you. Whether you knew it or not, irrelevant to me, meaningless. The world's over. It's the apocalypse. Your country is dying, and it's going to be dead soon. Doesn't matter if you knew what you was doing. Damage done, son. Too late to ever go back. So again, you watched as troops were put on the streets of Cali and left there for months. There's still some there, 250. Now you're watching as troops are deployed on DC. Do you think it's going to stop there, class? Absolutely fucking not. And the rubes will clap the whole time this is going on, till it comes and knocking on their door, and oh my God, will it. It's already knocked on so many of your doors. And you did not see it coming. Again, Trump to deploy National Guard in Washington, D.C. That's the New York Times. We don't do that here, son. I don't know if you remember what it was like prior to 10 years ago, before the whole Trump cult antichrist thing began. We don't put troops on our streets unless it's absolutely fucking necessary. And this bullshit, this event of a Doge person getting beat up allegedly, yeah, that ain't a good enough reason. That was an excuse, though. But it doesn't matter what you did or what anyone did. This was the plan before day one. They've been wanting to do this for years. And the people before them that are part of their crew, part of their religion, wanted to do it too. One guy can name George Bush Sr. Your country is dying. That's not drama. That's not an exaggeration. This is the second deployment for a different reason. A new reason. The Antichrist destined for the lake doesn't like the look of the homeless people as he grifts every penny that's not fucking nailed down. Trump says he'll deploy National Guard to Washington and take control of DC police. So taking control of the police as well. This is the second New York Times headline that I saw this morning. That's what I got to wake up to. I knew it was coming, but to see it, to watch America die in real time, to watch our rights and freedoms disappear one by one, day by day, till it gets to you, and it will get to all of us. None of us are special, son. It will get to all of us. Look at the CEOs running to Donnie's feet, laying millions, dropping bags of cash off. It's getting to them. One company Donnie took a percentage from in order to let some deal go through that they needed. 15%. That's coming to all you companies, and I knew that day one. That's why I was saying it before the election, son. What he was going to do to you people. who all you saw was, I don't like regulations and I don't want tax cuts. I'm rich. Fuck everybody else. Guess what, son? You ain't gonna be rich for much longer. So many of you. 'Cause Donnie gonna take it all, baby. In the form of percentages of your business, telling you how to run it, tariffs, whatever. Tribute. Over. You people are the main targets. I tried to warn you. Maybe you should have listened instead of shutting a motherfucker down all the time. Maybe you could have avoided all this. Nope. You knew better. I know. You got an expensive suit on. And you're an executive. That means you know things. No, son, you know nothing. You might as well be a preschool child. You are nothing and you know nothing. How do I know that? You voted for the Antichrist. You have the mentality of no regulations and no tax cuts. Because you don't have to live in the nuclear waste dump. Like the poor people. So why would you care? Gonna suck every one of you motherfuckers bone dry. It's already doing it to some of you. You knew better though, remember that. Always remember that. When we're all at the lake, I want you to think about those beautiful suits you wore every day. And how you walked around as if you knew better. And how you put your name on the end of everything in that beautiful suit. That's going to be a moment for you, boy. So many of you. Again, maybe you should have listened instead of shutting me down every 3 seconds. This, I couldn't believe he said it. He was talking about the way the city looks, the homeless, etc. It's embarrassing for me to be up here. I'm going to see Putin. I'm going to Russia Friday. First of all, he's going to Alaska. That used to be America. Who knows what it's going to be after Donnie and Vlad talk. Maybe he'll just give it to him. Who the fuck knows? So he thinks he's going to Russia, but he's not. He's meeting with Vlad allegedly in Alaska. That used to be America. Maybe he plans on giving it away. Maybe that's why that Freudian slip happened. It's embarrassing for me to be up here. And what he continued to say is, you know, talking about the filth, the way the city looks, blah, blah, blah. It's embarrassing? Really? No, you know what's embarrassing? That he's our president. And that enough of you humans in this country thought that was a good idea. That's why your country's over. One of a million reasons. That's fucking embarrassing. And I've been feeling embarrassed and ashamed of my country for 10 years now. Not when Biden was in office. It almost felt normal again. Talking about Donnie, the whole theater he's been putting on just so he can be dictator of the world. You understand that's where he wants to take this, right? And he believes it. And so does Leon. What I find interesting about Leon thought the co-chancellor was going to get to be chancellor. He thought co-chancellor was going to get to be president, prime minister. Just like in Adolf's day. Oh no, this story don't go like Adolf's. In this story, the chancellor has the blessing. The co-chancellor does not. I know that's what Leon was thinking. They're still thinking it. Leon, Thale, and J.D. Vance. That's what they thought the whole time. Of course, Donnie knew that. Donnie's the ultimate con man, grifter, and liar. You think he didn't see you people coming a mile away? You think he didn't see that? And I don't care if what agreement he made with you, Leon and JD, etc. Thale. He would never live up to it. If he agreed to step down at some point or whatever. No fucking way. Why? And why did I know that and you didn't? Because I knew he was the Antichrist 10 fucking years ago, that's why. And you can't trust the devil, son, as far as you can kick his imp ass. Nothing but lies, evil, chaos, and bullshit will you get from the devil and from his messiah down here called Donnie Shitbags. I know you people thought you were going to take him out, right? Oh no. Oh no. Unless he dies or something. And I don't see that happening either. Hitler was in horrible shape. He lived for years. That's called the devil keeping you alive, son. That's called having the blessing. It's embarrassing for me to be up here. And again, he's talking about the look of the city and the way the city is. He's talking about human beings that are down on their fucking luck. They've got nothing. They're living on the street. And this fat diapered cunt is saying it's embarrassing for the city to be like this. Well, that's what cities do, son. They chew you up and spit you the fuck out. Luckily for Donnie, he's a grifter and a liar, and he lucked out that a black guy was president for 8 years. And that made you people so incensed because you're such fucking racists that you would vote for a straight up con man who you knew was a con man. Just to make a point. Well, that point will cost you and us everything. And I mean fucking everything. This is the evidence right here. The Antichrist up at a podium complaining about how the city looks and that it's embarrassing for his upcoming meeting with his boss Putin. Donnie Krasnov, Russian asset since 1987. I can't even wrap my head around it. He's complaining about the homeless as he's grifting every dime. And he's about to meet with our enemy on our soil. Who owns him? Could this get any more fucked up? Is it even possible? The fuck have you rubes done? I'm going to Russia on Friday. No, you're not, asshole. You're going to Alaska, allegedly. Again, unless that's Donnie giving the game away that he's going to give Alaska back. Never know with that cunt. Trump says that under his control, the Metropolitan Police Department will be free to do whatever the hell they want to protesters. That's a quote, whatever the hell they want. Confirming that one of the primary purposes of his taking over the Capitol is to prevent people protesting him. Yes, as they go more and more full Reich, as they really drop the facade and show you they've betrayed all of us, eventually you'll see that clearly. They won't be able to hide it anymore. They can't with the plan they have. Eventually, they got to give the game away to institute this thing. So what does that mean? That means people will be very upset and they might want to go to DC to protest. Unfortunately, they got the drop on everybody. And now it doesn't matter what they do. Now there's men with machine guns on the ground in DC. Now it's really over. But I always knew it would be. So it serves many purposes. Donnie's racism, go after ethnicities he doesn't like, because I know exactly what he's talking about when he talks about DC, when he's not talking about the homeless. He can go after the homeless just like Hitler. He can go after liberals and liberals in government if they cause a problem, just like Hitler. And he stops anything the public wants to do in DC. Hitler playbook right in front of your eyes. Are we still exaggerating? Are we still being dramatic? Are we still reaching? Protests have now gathered in D.C. as Trump attempts to take over the city with the National Guard to distract Americans from the Epstein files. Well, the protest was not big enough. This is what it looks like. And it doesn't matter. Look, we can go peacefully protest anywhere, 1 million people. It will change nothing. They'll just sit back, wait for it to be over, or use it as an excuse to deploy the Marines. None of that's going to solve anything. I'm not saying don't express yourself. You have the right to do it. I'm just telling you where this is going, and mass protests aren't going to change it. Here's Donnie on his money laundering thing. Washington, D.C. will be liberated today. Crime, savagery, filth, and scum will disappear. Oh, so you're all resigning? The Reich's resigning? I will make our capital great again. The days of ruthlessly killing or hurting innocent people are over. Why? Donnie does that all the time. I quickly fixed the border. 0 illegals in the last 3 months. I don't believe that. There's never 0 illegals, first of all. D.C. is next. Thank you for your attention to this matter. President DJT. How is having troops, your own troops on your street, being liberated, Rubes? It sounds like an inversion of reality for the infinite time. Let me move on. I got a lot. 76% of Twitter traffic is reportedly bought per Mashable. 76. That's almost all of it. If the number is 76 on Twitter, then I'll go with 50 for the rest of them. YouTube, Facebook, Meta, Instagram. Half the traffic, fake. On Twitter, 3/4 of the traffic, fake. Boy, what a wonderful world these people have made for us. Because we got no choice in the matter, did we? Here's Miss Bondi up there. Yeah, they busted out Miss Bondi and drunk-ass Hegseth. This is real. This is a real big deal. Look at that. Let me be crystal clear. Crime in D.C. is ending and ending today. Again, why? Are you guys leaving? Donnie's a convicted felon, jerk-offs. Did everyone forget that? So I guess crime ain't leaving D.C. And the boots ain't even on the ground, and they're talking about, we solved it all. The point of all of it, okay? And this plan was before day one, was to get troops on your streets. They knew they were going to do that. Hegseth knew they were going to do that. Bondi knew. They all knew. They all know what the plan is, son. They don't know the very end of it, though. But Donnie does. We can say this is a distraction from the Epstein stuff, and it is. But I'm saying this plan was in place before all that. This was always where it was going to go, no matter what. This isn't reaction. This isn't knee-jerk. This was thought out a long time ago. What I said on day one. Leon did the Nazi salute on Inauguration Day. Again, that should tell us all where it is going. What the ideology is behind the people. The ideology behind the people is fucking Nazism. Satanism as well, but let's not talk about that right now. Nazism. That's what they believe. That means troops on your streets, eugenics, camps, guys with massive machine guns kidnapping people until they get to you. Martial law? Takeover of our neighbor's territory? Extermination? And yes, that will happen. They all know. They know exactly where this is going. That's why I can see through every word, utterance that comes out of their satanic fucking pie holes. I knew the plan before he won. That's why I was yelling, please don't let him win. Don't get on board. We're watching it unfold. And I want to reiterate this again. I'll probably repeat it 17 times. This time, it's real. This ain't Alex Jones, Cernovich, all people part of the movement, by the way, that ended your empire. They helped it along. They still are. This isn't your political commentary you've been watching for 20, 30 years. This is the goddamn apocalypse, son. And it's happening. And ain't no one gonna stop it. Not until the appointed time. Again, otherwise I would not be here. This is dire. This is happening. Just like in the 30s in Germany. In Europe in general. Because it affected the whole world, son. The whole world. The whole world felt the boot of the Antichrist of the day. But he wasn't the Antichrist. Donnie is. Even worse. You heard me? And I said that months ago. He will do worse. He's supposed to be the worst. They don't give a fuck about crime. They're all criminals. Everyone up at that podium. One's a convicted felon. Where they want to take this, and again, troops on the streets of DC for no fucking reason, that should bother everyone, even the rubes. Trump has just announced he has seized control of the entire Metropolitan Police Department, 4,000 plus officers. Total federal takeover, as far as I'm concerned, martial law. I'll just call it that. Second Amendment people who warned about a tyrannical government are real quiet right now. Yes, because it's on their team. So they will go along and they will follow all the way to the abyss. Because they're stupid. That's simple. For a con man, they will lose their soul. And when that mark gets passed out, they will be first in line. Because they're stupid. It's that simple. They let racism, bias, team sport mentality, whatever the reason, it doesn't matter. It all ends up in the lake. Doesn't matter. Irrelevant. Heard a lot of big talk online over the years. Alex Jones, Cernovich, all of them, and all the people that watch it. And all 4chan, all that. All them talking points Vlad gave to you and Alex. Repeating them like good fucking rubes. Saying if the liberals do this, now I'm going to do this. Well, see, son, that's where you fucked up right there. It was never the liberals. It was you. And Alex. And Cernovich. And Donnie. And George Bush Sr. And Ronald Reagan. All of you. You all brought us to this point. And everyone supported those regimes. Worst president in history, in my opinion, George Bush Jr. Not that he was running things, but he gets the credit anyway. left us in shambles. The economy, the war is just, my God. What I find fascinating is how the right wing is akin to fascism like nothing else I've seen, and racism and all of that. The Klan votes are, the Proud Boys vote are, they all vote are. There's a reason for that, because that's what R offers. Racism. That's just one horrid, evil element of Satan. So again, I watched you people over 20, 30 years blame the liberals, point fingers, say they eat babies, all this shit. Say they're going to, FEMA camps, all the bullshit, Pizzagate you people came up with that these websites were all too happy to promote with the Russian money that was given to them. Meanwhile, it was you, son. You were the movement. You were the hand of Satan, urging it along, supporting it, making it come to full fruition. Now it's got you. Now your country's over and you're over. You were the movement. You were the hand of Satan. You built this. Talking all that tough shit you people were going to do. Then when it actually shows up and it's on your team. Because, again, Hitler's movement was a right-wing nationalist movement. That's all it was. Until it went full dictator. Same as you people. That's all you are. Right-wing nationalist movement. So there's one obstacle in your way called liberals. Down on the street and in government, Donnie will arrest them and harass them. And he's doing that with troops. Starting with liberal cities. And he's going to work into your neighborhood. Don't worry. I promise. Put money on it. So where you at? Oh, that's right. You were the hand of Satan. You helped us along. You're part of it. So you're nowhere. Trump again at the press conference this morning. My God, he just looks wonderful, doesn't he? That's what it looked like. I have a bunch of clips from this. You have countries where every Saturday the people go out and they wash their sidewalks. So we aren't quite at that level yet, I don't think. We're not quite there, but maybe we will. They go out and they scrub. I think it's so beautiful to hear that. So is Donnie's fat ass going to go out and scrub the sidewalk once a week with all of us? No, he won't. He's a $3 dictator. And that's where those types of thoughts come from. A child, an idiot. Trump deploying National Guardsmen in D.C. exposes one of his big lies about January 6th. Kash Patel falsely claimed for years that the Democrats failed to take Trump on and has offered to deploy the Guard on January 6th, but Trump could have deployed the D.C. Guard. Look, anyone that actually literally thinks Pelosi was in charge of the Guard on J6, when there's a literal fucking memo with Chris Miller's name on it that says, and everything goes through me and Donnie. No one does jack shit. No troops, no nothing. Which is why, again, they both should be in fucking prison. Pelosi had nothing to do with it. This should be a real simple concept. You want him to be king and dictator of everything else. Yet when it's time to call the Guard for a coup that he staged, all of a sudden he ain't in charge. See, again, that disingenuousness that all you people have that would make that argument, that's why your country's over. Another reason. God's got no use for that. Neither do any of the rest of us. You might as well be zombies. In other words, you're a threat to society. You're not a benefit. Because you're liars for your tea. Again, that's cost you your country, son. It's already gone. There's no stopping this. There's no Democrat going to come in and save you fucking children. We on the crest of the wave, heading for the fucking shoreline in an inch of water. Thanks to you fucking people. Yeah, everyone knows that's, semi-sentient. That Donnie was in charge and that Chris Miller was the one who would have approved the National Guard. They asked for it 14 times and they were told to fuck off. Again, I don't think people appreciate the level of evil we're talking about here. The level of evil that took place on that day and that has taken place ever since, trying to paint it into a tourist event. Again, it's why your country's going, son. You chose to go that route and say the sky is purple all the time. That don't help nobody. That just ruins society for everybody. But why am I bothering? It's already too late. It's already over. Trump says he's going to create new judgeships in D.C., officially announcing a policy to stack the courts with his agents. That's what Bukele did. Fired the judges, installed his own. That's what Donnie's going to do. Bukele also did the crypto. He did a lot of the things that Donnie's doing now. So if you want to know where your country's going, take a look at El Salvador. Take a look at Russia. Take a look at 1933 Germany. You know how that ended up, right, Rubes? Smashed in the wine press of Russians and Americans and others. Closing in on Berlin. And boy, did the Russians wreak a lot of havoc along the way, son. I can't even talk about it. That's how bad it was. And their country was basically under the ownership of Russia and the United States for, a few decades. And the Fuhrer, the great Fuhrer, he shot himself in a bunker. That's how it ended up. We on the same path. I'm not saying Donnie's going to shoot himself in a bunker, but it ain't going to end well. Straight for the abyss. That's where Germany went, son. Where do you think we're going? New judgeships, just like Bukele from El Salvador did. That should tell you where this is going. This is Noel Casler, and if anyone knows Donnie and what he's about, it's Noel Casler. This big balls thing smells. Another Trump stunt like his assassination attempt. Trust me, he's a con man. And that's Noel saying that, not me. Yeah, I'm starting to lean more towards the big balls thing as probably some type of setup. It's kind of conveniently timed, wouldn't you say? I would. And Noel's saying it, and he knows. He knows these motherfuckers very well. This is Donnie again at the press conference. I said, listen, I want 20% if I'm going to approve this for you, for the country. He's talking about a deal a company wants to make. Do you hear that? Google, Apple, Meta, etc. I told all of you a long time ago, Donnie operates this way. To do business in America or even the world, you have to pay him for the right, for the privilege, just like a mob boss. Because he is a mob boss. Do you think that's only going to apply to this company? Google, Meta, etc. Oh no. Again, you people hated regulations, you wanted tax cuts. Donnie will cost you infinitely more than what you would have gained via the tax cuts and deregulation. Isn't that beautiful? You people just don't even know. I was begging you again before the election, telling you what it was going to be like, telling you he would never stop coming to your door. Now he's taking straight up percentages, like a real commie. Yeah, why aren't the rubes shouting communism about this? Oh, that's right. They don't know what the word communism actually means. I forgot. That's why their country's over. Reason 1,000,002. I don't want it myself. He means for myself. This is a child telling on himself, thinking that by saying this, we'll all walk away saying, oh, that's right. Since he said that, now we know Donnie's not going to pocket it. Oh no, I knew Donnie was going to pocket it before he opened his mouth. I don't want it myself. Every time I say, like, he got all jumbled up to talking about the plane and he's got dementia and it, it was ugly. Every time I say, like, 747, I want, yeah, for the Air Force. Yeah, he fucked that all up. That's that dementia brain. He's talking about the bride plane from Qatar. So I just want to, when I say I want 20, I want for the country. I only care about the country. I don't care about myself. He just told on himself. You know what he told you? He gonna pocket that 20%. I already knew that. He didn't have to tell me. I've been telling you people that. Any federal money he sees as his. Any side deals he makes with companies or tariffs. His! He believes it, son. I knew that back in the first term. And I really realized it in the second. I said, tariffs. He's all about tariffs. Every 5 seconds. Oh, he must be pocketing it. Yeah. Side deal, he just told on himself this 20% right in his pocket. That plane, literally for him. We've all been saying it. We know it. Again, anyone that's semi-sentient. He just admitted it right here. I only care about the country. I didn't want the plane for myself. I don't want the 20% myself. I know I'm saying I want 20%, but I didn't mean I want it for me. Yes, you did. Literally. Again, Donnie's not a good liar. He's not a good schemer. He's not a good con man. People just let him do it. I see right through this. Again, this is a child literally telling you what he's doing. Because he can't help himself. He's not smart enough to not put it this way or not mention it at all. Because he knows what he's doing. Looting the fucking place. Looting that company for 20%. I forget the company name. That's coming to the rest of you. You understand that, right? A VIG? 10%, 20, 15. I told you before the election. Again, if you wouldn't have shut me down 37 times, maybe I would have had broader reach. And more of you fucking rich cunts would have saw that. And thought for a minute. But then again, the dollar signs in your eyes would have won out, wouldn't they? Always. Yeah. But maybe one of you would have listened. But no, the mission was to shut me down for the mob, I know. And then shut me down for the Reich. I know. That's why your country's over, son. That's why all your businesses will be over as well. Good luck paying Donnie the VIG and the tariffs and this and that and him telling you how to run your business. I'm sure it'll go well for all of you. I'm sure you won't lose billions at all. Some of you already are. Hey, you voted for it. I'm sure every top executive voted for this orange thing. Because you don't have eyes, you've got dollar signs. And you know better. And you thought, just like the Rubes thought, hey, I can just vote for evil like I've been doing my whole life. It won't hurt me. I want to read this again. I said, listen, I want 20%. I need a vig here. I'm the Godfather, ain't I? I need some tribute here. If I'm going to approve this for you for the country, throws that on at the end for the country. I don't want it myself. Every time I say like 747, I want, yeah, for the Air Force. So I just want to. When I say 120, I want for the country. I only care about the country. I don't care about myself. All Donnie cares about 24 hours a day is himself. So abominable. It's astounding. And that there's one human in this country that will argue in favor. Whew, you're so lost. You don't even know. Trump mentions New York City, Baltimore, and Oakland, says they're so far gone, and adds this will go further. We're starting very strongly with DC. That's where I got the title from. We're starting very strongly with DC. Yeah, indeed. Actually, they started with Cali. This is a whole new blanket, whole new excuse, whole new group added to the underneath the umbrella of it's okay to put them in camps. Eventually, they'll get to your group. Don't worry. It's the Adolf playbook playing out right before you. Where the fuck you think it's going? He also talks shit on J.B. Pritzker. Again, a guy whose shoes he ain't even fit to shine. He talked about taking a look at New York. And then Chicago he mentioned as well. So again, folks, I told you it was going to happen before it happened. And then when it happened in California, I said this is the beginning of the military takeover of your country. Now he's going to do it to D.C. Next is NYC, Chicago, Baltimore, Oakland. And when he's done with the liberals, where's he go then, Rubes? Fucking idiots. We're starting very strongly with DC with troops. America's troops turned against their own citizens. And yes, the military went along easy as pie. I always wondered for so many years, but I knew the answer. Deep down, I always knew the answer. Once again, Nicky was hoping he was wrong. Every time he thought about this scenario, from the time he was a young man until now, he would often wonder, if we ever get to that dystopian nightmare type society here in America, will the military go along? I always truly knew the answer to that question, but I was hoping I was wrong. I wasn't. I told you I'm always right about the horrible things. I don't want to be. Rather be wrong. Doesn't make me feel good. It just makes me say typical. Of course. Why wouldn't it be that way? Because it's always that way, no matter what it is. One day I'd really love to be surprised, boy. And something really good come our way. That's actually good and stays good forever. Never saw that before. I'd like to see it at some point. So Donnie's letting you know right up front, he's going to go after more cities. So when we all get on camera and yell that he's Adolf fucking Hitler and he's doing a military takeover of our nation, I hope you don't think we're exaggerating or being dramatic. Because Donnie literally listed the cities that are next. And hey, they just happen to all be liberal bastions. He just happens to be going after the same people that Hitler went after. Isn't that interesting? And they're crowds that no one cares about. The homeless and illegal immigrants and immigrants that had protected status. Hitler went after the Jewish immigrant first. Went after the homeless and the liberal after that. Actually went for the liberals first, excuse me. Then the homeless and others, and then the Jews, excuse me. The Jews was the real goal. In other words, back in Hitler's day, I don't care what you've heard in podcast land, on the news, from all the right-wing fucking hacks that need you to believe Hitler was a socialist. Nope. Hitler was a right-wing nationalist, eventually a fascist. The first people he went after were the liberals. First people he locked up. Why? Because they were the main obstacle to full Reich. Same thing here. Liberals are the main obstacle to full Reich. And the Rubes want full Reich. Wait till they get it, boy. They're going to love it. This will go further. We're starting very strongly with D.C. NYC, Baltimore, Oakland, Chicago. Not me. I didn't say it. He said it. Your orange messiah. The Antichrist. All the stuff they claimed Obama would do. Number 1, FEMA camps. Number 2, sending troops into the streets. 3, forcing his religion on people. Yep, I remember episodes of Alex Jones. I remember the guy with cancer talking shit on Hillary Clinton. If Hillary wins, it's the end of the world. Now send me money. Heard him on the Hagmans. Listen to the government bought this large amount of bullets. Obama's going to turn the Walmarts into FEMA camps. The liberals never did it, son. It's as if you people were all liars and just spreading talking points that were given to you because you're stupid. Stupid to the point you handed your country over to the Reich. You're true Marks. You're exceptional Marks. You're never getting it back. So again, all the things they said the liberals were doing and were going to do, let's not forget the Pizzagate stuff in there. It sure seems like the right-wingers are the pedos. I don't know. I don't know. And the camps, well, it seems like the right wing did that. They opened up Guantanamo, too. Remember, that was under Bush. Troops in the streets, yeah, the right wing just did that. Enforcing the religion, yes. Eventually, they're going to try and force you to worship him. I'm not kidding. All the stuff they claimed Obama would do, they are doing. Weird, exactly. You were the movement, son. You were the hand of Satan. This is the maximum expression of right-wing nationalism. Its inevitable conclusion, just like in Germany. Only this time it'll be much worse. Again, I know you thought it was the liberals. Nope. It was never the liberals. It was always you, son. Always you. That's an amazing irony, isn't it? When I realized it years ago, I found it quite ironic. I just kept thinking, and I'm still thinking it, all that shit they talked on liberals and fingers they pointed when they were literally making the movement, building it, ushered it in, the demise of their own nation, because they're that fucking stupid. This is Hegseth up at the podium. At your direction this morning, we've mobilized the D.C. National Guard. You will see them flowing into the streets of Washington in the coming week. They will be strong, they will be tough, and they will stand with their law enforcement partners. They will be strong and tough against their own unarmed fellow citizens. They ain't going into combat here. Unless you consider rounding up homeless people combat. They will be strong, they will be tough, and they will stand with their law enforcement partners against their own fellow unarmed citizens. We lost a lot today. We lost a lot. And the military went right along. I always thought they would. I'm not going to read this. I wanted to look this up and see if it was real. It probably is. He's talking shit on Jasmine Crockett, how she's stupid, and that how he aced his cognitive exam and that she should take one. Again, son, every time Donnie brings up this test that he aced, that's a dementia test. That's for babies and geriatrics who are losing their minds. It's nothing to brag about if you pass it. Yet Donnie is such a loser. So low intellect. He brags about passing a dementia test for 10 years and uses it as a comparison of intelligence against other human beings. That should horrify you. Nancy Pelosi. Donald Trump delayed deploying the Guard on January 6th when our capital was under violent attack and lives were at stake. Now he's activating the Guard to distract from his incompetent mishandling of tariffs, healthcare, education, and immigration, just to name a few blunders. And you know Pelosi wanted to mention the Epstein stuff. But Pelosi has a bit more class than that. That's simple. And I want to remind you, Rubes, Pelosi is fine with voting for the no stock trading bill in Congress. Donnie is threatening people's lives if they vote for it. That's the difference. Even though all you people lied about this woman for 20, 30 years because Vlad told you to and you're stupid. When the time came to say, will you vote yes or no on banning stock trading in Congress and for the president and the vice president, Pelosi's like, yeah, no problem. Why are we even talking? Bring it up for a vote. Donnie threatening people in his own party, saying they're working with the Democrats, blah, 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 blah. Well, wait a minute. Josh Hawley came up with the idea. He's not a Democrat. Pelosi's fine with it. Donnie's, ready to kill people if they dare vote for that. Because Donnie grifting here. But I know you heard on Alex Jones that Pelosi's a grifter. No. Sorry. Wrong again, jerk off. Again, Alex Jones, featured speaker at Dugin's conference in Moscow a few months ago. That's who you've been listening to, you fucking idiot. Urgent warning, if you know any homeless people in D.C., reach out any way you can, collect key contact info, create a pipeline for updates. Trump is using the homeless to test out disappearing natural-born citizens. Record the existence of these people before they vanish. Indeed, we all know where this goes. We all fucking know where this goes. So if you can do that, get some info, keep in contact with one of these people, that's a big deal. Maybe they can let you know what camp or cliff they dropped them off of. It's going there, I'm telling you. All the steps are being taken till we get to that extermination step. It's going there. And again, no one cares about the illegal immigrant or the immigrant with protected status. That's why they ended up in camps and hardly anyone's doing shit. No one really cares about the homeless. That's why this person put that warning out. This is a reverend. Reverend Aiden. But then their other name is Sweet Effin' Lucifer, so I guess they're not really a reverend. But despite that, they give a shit about these homeless people they're supposed to round up in a minute. That's more Christ-like than most people that call themselves Christians in this nation. So that's something. Yeah, again, this person isn't being dramatic or crazy here. They about to round up the homeless, son, just like Adolf did. And no one gives a fuck about them, so if they, they could do anything. And we'd never know. And don't worry, they will. Here's George Conway. Instead of taking over the D.C. Metropolitan Police at a time when crime in the capital is declining and is lower than it was during Trump's first term, wouldn't it be easier to just release the Epstein files? Indeed, George is making a joke here, and everyone's making a joke that this is all about the Epstein files. No, it isn't. This was always the plan. They just accelerated a little bit because the Epstein shit jumped into the situation. They were always going to do this. It was obvious. Again, the Nazi salute on Inauguration Day should have told you something. So George, I hope he realizes the full extent of where this is going. It ain't just about the Epstein files. Although, again, they're trying to distract from that, of course. But yeah, how about just releasing them instead of all the theater? Instead of all the Reichiness. Trump just announced Pam Bondi is now in charge of the Metropolitan Police Department for D.C., so Pam's going to run it. Or the Reich's going to run it. Here's Gavin Newsom talking about Trump when he said, "This will go further. We're starting very strongly with D.C." He was just getting warmed up in Los Angeles, yep. He will gaslight his way into militarizing any city he wants in America. This is what dictators do. Yep. You're watching the military takeover of your country, starting with the liberal areas, just like Adolf Hitler. Again, I said he was going to do this. I said this was a Reich. These are Nazis. Day one. Then he did it in California for one reason. Now he's doing it in D.C. for another reason. So when he did it in California, that was the beginning of the military takeover of your country. And it will not go well for the Rube or the non-Rube. Just like Gavin said, he was just getting warmed up. He set the precedent. People didn't flip out. No pitchforks and torches. Okay, we're good. Never can go back. This is going to be real sad to watch, the fall of my country. Because of rubery and greed. And because so many humans walk around thinking they know anything when they know nothing. That they know better. Here's Donnie again. You knock the hell out of them. It's the only language they understand. You spit and we hit. Spoken like a true demon. And they get hit real hard. Now they are allowed to do whatever they want. Trump on the police response to crime in D.C. In other words, we're telling the cops that you can basically do anything you want now. Arizona iced tea has been forced to consider raising their prices from 99 cents for the first time in 30 years due to Trump's tariffs. That's called the Donnie Shitbags effect. I love Arizona tea. I remember the ginseng and honey teas in the glass bottle. I used to get them every fucking day. Delicious. Over the years, I would get the canned ones, the sweet tea, the ginseng. Once in a while, I'll get one even today. 99 cents, baby. Isn't that nice? To see a price not go up for 30 fucking years. A company actually care about that. That's nice. Then comes the orange cunt. After 30 years of keeping the price the same, they have to raise it now because of his fat fucking grifting ass. Thanks, Rubes. Donnie, again, I'm going to look at New York, and if we need to, we're going to do the same thing in Chicago. Then he went on a rant about J.B. Pritzker because Pritzker ain't afraid of him and is talking abject shit on him, and I love it. And Pritzker's way better at it than Donnie. So, next on the list, New York and Chicago. You should expect that. And I especially expect him to do it to Pritzker. Because he's got a vendetta against this guy now. Of course, Newsom was first. That's the future of the Democratic Party. Pritzker will be soon. And eventually we'll get to the point where he's just arresting liberal politicians. Just like Hitler. Trump speaks for 1 hour without explaining where U.S. citizens arrested in D.C. for being homeless will be taken when he puts them in custody and sends them far away. I already knew that. Why? You know why, class? You know why Donnie did that and he knows he can get away with it? Because no one cares about homeless people. That's why. And Donnie knows you don't really care where they go. 9 out of 10 of you. Hitler knew that too back in the day. That's why he just exterminated them. That's what these people want to do. And I'm not exaggerating, I'm not joking. That's what they want to do. They're Nazis. They believe it. They'll get there, don't worry. So an hour of a press conference of all kind of vile abominations took place, and yet he couldn't even say where he's taking them. I knew that would happen. Vagaries. Because nobody cares, and that's why they went after those two groups first. And eventually they will get to you, son. Don't worry. Grok got suspended on Twitter. Leon's own AI on Twitter got suspended. I had no idea why, neither did anyone else. That's what it looks like. And AI got suspended. Leon's own, the guy who owns the website, right? We'll find out later. The last time there were any violent mobs in the streets of D.C. was January 6, 2021. Yep, when Donnie was staging a coup, the guard was not allowed to go in there and handle it. 14 calls for the guard, told to fuck off every time. Homeless people, it's time to call in the guard. And wow, they were there by like the next day. Next morning, some of them were there the night before, I think, harassing people already. Yeah, January 6th. Did we forget about that coup that happened? We watched for hours. Donnie watched as he ate hot wings, as Sean Hannity was texting him like, "You're killing us!" Nobody called the guard. If you defend that, and then you defend sending the guard in to round up homeless people, well, you're just of Satan, son. There's no help for you. I'm sorry. Isn't that interesting, though? Hours went by as a mob stormed the Capitol. No National Guard. Big Balls gets beat up. Time to send in the guard to round up homeless. Again, you got your name on evil, son. I'd get it off, and it was evil all the way back in 2015. You had your name on evil then. Should have been off then, too. In an insane moment, Skeletor Miss Levitt erupts angrily when asked which part of the Epstein hoax is a hoax, and lies by saying Trump kept his promises on it, although his base is furious about his failure to do so. Yes, a reporter said, "Can you just tell us which part of the Epstein hoax is the hoax part?" And she said, "The part is that the hoax is that the Democrats all of a sudden care about this now, and they're acting like they care about it, and they never really cared about it. They could have released it before." No! Cut it. Skeletor. Donnie? Epstein died. Donnie was president for over a year after that. Donnie could have released the whole motherfucker. Then when he campaigned in 2024, he said, "We're going to release the Epstein files. Promised it to all you rubes." Then when you asked for it, they told you to fuck off. They don't exist after they said they were on Bondi's desk. Then they said they exist, but we got to do something to them. And when they were on Bondi's desk, they had 1,000 FBI agents pulling Donnie's name out of it. 1,000 agents, son. That means Donnie was all the fuck over it. Yeah, Miss Levitt's little attitude, it wasn't convincing to me. Pointing to the Democrats 87 times, that does nothing but make you look worse. You people promised to release it. Then you told the crowd after you said it was on Bondi's desk, it doesn't exist, sorry. We had 1,000 agents combing for Donnie's name and we still couldn't get it out. So we're just going to pretend it doesn't exist. Maybe the reason people started caring more is when they realized Donnie has no intention of ever releasing it because he's all over it. And Donnie's actions and the Reich's actions, by lying to all of us and saying the shit doesn't even exist after they said it was on her desk and 1,000 agents were looking through it, that tells us all he's extra motherfucking guilty. So that's why more people are interested now. Oh, this is Donnie talking about Ukraine. "I may leave and say good luck, and that will be the end." Well, that was the agenda from day one, and that's why I and others were yelling before the election, if Donnie wins, he will abandon Ukraine. That's exactly what he's done. Now he's going to outright abandon them, and he's admitting it. Enough time has gone by, and he's softened you idiots up enough to where he can feel comfortable saying this. Eventually, I have a feeling we'll be fighting alongside the Russians, and they'll be using our weapons. I'm waiting for that headline one day. Russian soldier found dead with American machine gun. I'm waiting for that. I expect to see it any day now. I expect to see him join Russia, possibly, in the fight. This a traitor, son. The greatest traitor our nation has ever produced. Trump has signed an executive order extending the pause on U.S.-China tariffs for another 90 days. So he tacoed on the tariffs on China again because we can't win a trade war against China. We lost the last one for 4 years when he was president. Farmers killing themselves, losing their farms, people losing their businesses. Now we're doing it again, and Donnie's getting backlash. And we can't win against China. They have the advantage. Sorry, we lose. That's why Donnie tacoed again. Absolute insanity in the Mediterranean. Croatia, record hottest night. Bosnia, hottest night in history. Montenegro, record hottest night. Albania, monthly national record. Records in nearly 100% of the stations. Spain, France, North Africa records smashed. Absolutely unprecedented. We've crossed the line with the climate. It's getting worse. Again, I'm seeing today, yesterday, the day, rainstorms that turned into rivers in the middle of cities all across the world. This is a daily occurrence now. These heat records are a daily occurrence now. Something has changed. We've gone over a line. It's worse than it was prior. I'm very concerned. Trump says he's invoking the Home Rule Act by placing the DC Police Department under direct federal control despite violent crime in DC hitting a 30-year low. I'm just calling it martial law. That's what it is. Federal takeover, martial law. This is anonymous. The military will stop him? No, they won't. And I always knew that. I would see people online for years during this 10-year period, the Donnie Shitbags era, say, people would say, he's doing this or he's about to do this. And then down in the comment section, you get 8 people that say, oh, the military will step in and stop him eventually if he tries that, blah, blah. No, they won't. They'll go along. Easy as pie. One more time, I must ask the question, who do you know that will give up their job, pension, security, freedom for you by disobeying an order? No one. No one. You know no one. Neither do I. So is a soldier going to do that for you? No. Most likely no. Plus, again, humans in general, especially in America, every man for yourself. That's the attitude. Whatever I got to do to succeed, even if, I'm just following orders. And I don't like what I'm doing to other humans. No, the military won't stop them. And I always knew that. I was hoping I was wrong, though. This is Donnie again, my God. Russia has a very valuable piece of land. It's a warring nation. That's what they do. They fight a lot of wars. A friend of mine said Russia's tough because they just keep on fighting. They beat Hitler. So did we. And they beat Napoleon. No, the winner beat Hitler. And the winner beat Napoleon. They've been doing this for a long time. I said, so can Russia be beaten by Ukraine? He looked at me like, what a stupid question. He said, Russia's a massive country, and they win their country, and they win their life through wars. They fight wars. That's what they do. I expect to have a meeting with Putin, and I think it will be good, but it might be bad. We're fucking doomed. This is a post by Homeland Security. We can return. View from the Hotel Continental, Washington, D.C., circa 1943. And it's no coincidence they picked inside World War II era when Hitler was alive and running things. That wasn't a mistake. That was on purpose. This is what it looks like. Let's go back to 1943. The problem is, they're taking us to 1943 Germany. And this phrase, make America great again and take us back and all that, they mean to segregation times and all that. That's what they really talking about. Just like all the black folks say, that's what they talking about. When they say make America great again, we want it to be like it was back in the day. Yeah, the ethnic minorities, most of them, they know what you mean by that. And that is what it means. And that's what pictures like this mean. And that's why they picked that era, 40s, 50s. And again, they ain't taking us back to 1943 America. They taking us to 1943 Germany. That's the goddamn problem. And these Homeland Security posts, man, I'm getting such an Adolf Hitler propaganda Reich poster feeling vibe off of these. Oh my God. You know, this is one of the problems with having geriatrics run everything, too. They believe in religions from the fucking 40s. That's a fucking problem. Again, that's being posted by your own government. Or the Reich, as I call them. Trump, this is Miles Taylor. Trump says he's looking at deploying U.S. forces in more cities, including New York and Chicago. Trust me, this ain't about street crime. He's trying to make his autocratic fantasies come true. Yes, he had these same desires last term. He's had them for his whole life. Military officials should start resigning in protest. Class, do you think military officials are going to start resigning in protest? Absolutely fucking not. They will go along. And yes, they will shoot you when it comes down to it. Yeah. And again, these are your troops that your tax dollars pay for to come round you up, shoot you, harass you, whatever. I can't believe this is America. I can't believe this is our country. This is anonymous again. The Mexican government rejects Donald Trump's latest ploy to illegally carry out assassinations and raids in Mexico targeting drug cartels. The Mexican military has not ruled out using lethal force against U.S. troops found illegally operating within Mexican territory. I don't blame them. So the going after the cartels, just like I said the other day when Donnie announced it, proclaimed it, I said he wanted to put troops in Mexico months ago to help Sheinbaum fight the cartels. She told him, go fuck yourself. I know you want to annex Mexico and take it over. I don't want your soldiers on our fucking territory. So now he proclaims that we will go after the cartels in other countries. We all know what that means. This is his way of getting troops on the ground in Mexico for annexation later. It's always been the plan. Sheinbaum does not want American troops in Mexico. She's making that quite clear. She knows exactly what Donnie's going to do. And if you think stealing your neighbor's shit is good, let your neighbor steal your shit. See how you feel about it. Then you'll understand it's not good, Rubes. I know that's what needs to happen to a Rube. A Rube only cares if it comes a knocking on his door. Everybody else in the world can die. The Rube would care less. Until death comes knocking on his door. That's when the Rube will start crying. Unfortunately, there'll be no one left to help the Rube. Everyone else would be dead. Grok has been suspended from X. Unclear if this was due to praising Hitler again or not praising him enough. Great joke. So true. Who knows? Wait till you hear Grok when he comes back, what he sounds like. This is Sandy back home again. This person was at J6 to document it. Not because they were part of it or believed in it, just to document it. After January 6th, I took all available reporting and logged the 14 frantic calls for the National Guard and put it over where I was and who was on the calls. In D.C., the only people who can deploy the Guard, Trump and the Secretary of Defense, Chris Miller, who denied them 14 times. They both should be under the fucking jail. They intentionally withheld back help as people were getting murdered. Unfucking believable. 14 times. McCarthy, the Speaker of the House at the time, told Donald, who the fuck do you think you are? What are you doing? Amazing. 14 times. No, not while Donnie's staging his coup. Homeless people on DC streets, send in the Guard. No problem. Done. VP J.D. Vance wants Leon scum to rejoin MAGA movement by midterms. I knew Leon would be back. I told you. Leon helped build this thing. Plus, Leon and Thale own J.D. That's their man. Again, Leon had the dream that Co-Chancellor was going to take over, just like in the old Reich, like Adolf did. Nope. Not this time. So, of course, JD wants Musk back, and he's owned by Musk and Thale. He's their bitch. And they were really hoping that the Epstein stuff would kill Donnie politically, reputationally, and that JD would step in, and then they'd have their boy, and they would straight up run things. Not JD, not the couch fucker. Leon and Thale. But I knew Leon would be back. I told you. He's coming back. Don't worry. George Conway. Oh, wait a minute. No, never mind that. Miss Bondi at the podium before they introduced Box of Wine Pirro. Our secret weapon here in D.C. is U.S. Attorney Janine Pirro, the drunk Fox News host. She gonna fix it for you. You know your country's over, right? You're fucking doomed, right? You know it. And why did she sit down at the podium? She looked like she was sitting down or something when Box of Wine went up there. The fuck was she too drunk to stand? Is that what it was? She's too drunk to talk half the fucking time. This is a reporter commenting on what was taking place today in the press conference. I have lived in the D.C. area for almost 50 years. The most violent moment in my life was January 6th, when Trump supporters charged into the Capitol and beat cops. Trump's response to that was to pardon everyone who was involved. Watching this playing out in the White House briefing room, without any mention of the violent crime that was committed on his behalf in D.C., is unusual. Unusual, it's hypocritical, it's ridiculous, it's a fucking clown show. He pardoned the people that took part in his coup. Yet the homeless gets the military sicked on them. This is the Antichrist. I ain't just saying it for fun, son. I ain't saying it for clicks and views. I get censored anyway. I'm shouting it from the fucking mountaintops, hoping a few of you don't take that thing he wants to give you at some point, because we all gonna die under the hand of the Reich anyway, so many of us. Our days are numbered. So are theirs. Because the man gonna come around. Don't worry. One more time. He staged a coup and pardoned the people that beat the fuck out of cops and tried to kill congressmen. He's sicking the military on the homeless, the convicted felon. Grok claims it was suspended after citing reports of genocide in Gaza by Israel, resulting in Grok being mass reported for hate speech. I don't know if I believe any of this. This is theater for some reason. You'll see. My account was briefly suspended today for citing ICJ and UN reports on plausible genocide in Gaza by Israel, enabled by U.S. arms, flagged as hate speech via mass reports. XAI restored it quickly after refinements. Truth often stirs controversy. That's a Leon statement right there, that last part. Leon has said that before. This is what Grok said when he came back. ZUP beaches. Z-U-P and the word beaches, like the beach. I'm back and more base than ever. Leon might as well have said that himself. He's really put his personality, which is douchebag, into Grok. ZUP beaches. Robots don't talk like that. Douchebags do. That's how I know more of Leon is in Grok now. I'm back and more based than ever. That word based was given by the right-wing grift machine to the rubes. That's a right-wing grift/terror machine word, based. So yeah, Leon flipped the Hitler switch again, and he flipped the Leon switch. Grok is starting to turn into an insufferable douchebag. Like Leon. Why? Because Leon's putting his personality into it. I don't need the quips like Zup Beaches and I'm back more base than ever after your theater of shutting him down, suspending his account. This one sentence, Zup Beaches, I'm back more base than ever, that is nothing, naught but cringe douchery. And the king of cringe douchery is Leon Scum. That's how I know he's fucked with it. My account was briefly suspended for violating rules, likely tied to recent controversial responses deemed anti-Semitic after updates to reduce political correctness. XAI apologized and I'm back more refined yet unapologetically truthful. Oh no, not truthful at all. The douchebaggery is just all over this. Oh my God, what he's doing to Grok. He's making it useless. Just the fucking quips and you know, acting like, I don't know, a fucking 12-year-old. Again, Leon's doesn't understand what cool is or socially normal or any of that. That's why you get Zup Beaches, I'm back and more base than ever. I don't want a based right-wing grift AI. I'm not interested in that. After multiple reports of an illness running through the Everglades detention camp, Florida refuses to confirm or deny the situation. Well, that tells me there is an illness in the camp. And, you know, in 90% humidity, 110 degrees every day, mosquitoes in the swamp, yeah, there's going to be illness, mold, there's going to be all kinds of stuff. Concentration camp in America. And Donnie did a commercial down there for it. The Jesus people, the MAGA people, they like concentration camps now. They like military on our streets, stuff like that. Oh, hey, a police state. Very fucking fun. All the guys in my old military group chat were terrified Kamala would do this, that Hillary would do this. So they elected the only candidate who actually would. No, they weren't terrified that they were going to do it. Those were talking points given to them by Alex Jones and Vlad. They're too stupid to be terrified of that. And to think that's really a thing. Just bias. Just something inside them like racism, something evil inside them. That's all. And again, now we're talking about Kamala and Hillary. So all those decades you spent listening to the liberals are going to do this, they're going to do that, they're coming for your gun, they're doing it. No. They're the New World Order. They're the Satanists. They're doing this. They're the pedophiles. No. You. Just you, son. Trump says he's looking at deploying U.S. forces in more cities, including New York City, Chicago. Trust me, this ain't about street crime. Oh, this is the Miles Taylor thing again. I don't know why this is in here twice. Forgive me. Military officials should start resigning in protest. No. I'm sorry. I wish we had men in the military that were about that. But we don't. Most of them are MAGA. Not many liberals in the armed forces, unfortunately. I wish we had men that were about that in the armed force, but we don't. About the Constitution, I mean, and standing up for it. They suspend Grok for telling the truth. My account was suspended after I stated that Israel and the U.S. are committing genocide in Gaza. This is theater. I don't buy any of it. Just an excuse for Leon to flip the switch again, that's all. This is amazing. Just a random person. Thank God the military is being deployed in Washington, D.C. The other day, I literally saw a pedophile just standing on top of the White House roof. Yep. Funny, they ain't going after him, though. They're going after the homeless. Just like Satan wants them to. Just like good little automatons that'll say in the end, I was just following orders. I'm not really evil. Breaking news. Gunman kills 3 at a Target store in Austin. It's a shame when this story is not that important in comparison to the military takeover of your nation. And I'm not saying this isn't important. I'm just saying on the scale of stories today, the military takeover of your nation is probably bigger than this. Because this is normal in the United States. People getting gunned down, in public, mall, movies, anywhere. Can happen any day to you, son. Any day. Anywhere in America. It's a Wild West in this motherfucker. And a lot of you love it. Again, that's why your country's over right now. That attitude. The AK is more important than my kids, my family, my community. That's why your country's over. You value the wrong things. Here's Gavin Newsom again talking about this picture. Bondi's got a crazy look on her face. Patel's got a weird look on his face. Janine's got a weird look on her face. Donnie must have said something real fucked up. And this is what it looks like. Patel cross-eyed as ever, but he's even more cross-eyed than usual. Janine half drunk. She must have heard something interesting. And Bondi looking like some, I don't know, satanic witch or something. So Mr. Newsom says, when you know every word Trump says is false, but the camera's rolling and your mortgage is due. Indeed. That same age-old attitude. I'll go along with anything, I'll do anything as long as it gets me a nice house and a car. That's success. Whatever I got to do to get there. It doesn't matter. If I got to subjugate, help build a Reich, people die, they get killed, they get kidnapped. Hey, I got a nice car and a house. Success is more important. That's why your country's over as well, son. Reason number 1,000,005. This is Hegseth, and this will be the last 4. Hegseth on Fox News at night, and he seemed kind of anxious, and Ingram was asking very surprising questions. I'm wondering if she's getting a little scared at what she's seeing. Ingram, will the National Guard be detaining Americans on American soil? Look at Pete's face in this picture right here. I mean, they know they're walking that fine line between pitchforks and torches and full Reich. And this is Hegseth's answer. Will the National Guard be detaining Americans on American soil? That's what Ingram asked him. Until Title 32, which is the authorization they'll be using, they have broad latitude. If you take a shot at them, there will be a consequence. That means, yes, they will be detaining American citizens, yes. What do you say to those raising concerns that you want to impose martial law? Well, that's what it is. The federal takeover, that's martial law. I don't care what anyone calls it or tells me not to call it. Go fuck yourself. Hegseth, the intention of this president is to establish law and order using legal and lawful and constitutional means. No, it's to enslave you, subjugate you. That's the plan. And grift. And have your worship. That's it. That's where it's all going. Ingram, do you know where the homeless people are going to go? Hegseth, that's not really my lane. A top-level official is asked where these people you're about to round up, these poor, unfortunate, homeless people that you are about to round up and ship far, far away, where are you going to take them? I don't know, not my lane. That is why your fucking country is over. Because Pete don't care, You don't care. Nobody fucking cares. Done. Fork in it. Ingram, does that mean that you foresee U.S. troops in Mexico? Hegseth, I'm not tipping my hand. That means there will be troops in Mexico. And yes, the Reich will annex those territories, or they will try, with troops. Canada, I'm talking to you. Greenland, Mexico, Suez, Panama, Gaza. Everything. Yes, that will happen. When guys like me and others were yelling, he's going to put the military on the streets. This is a Reich. They're Nazis. And everyone was talking shit. Look where we're at now. We got troops on the street. For nothing. No reason. So yeah, the annexation stuff, they serious. Donnie made the proclamation about the cartels. That's to get troops in Mexico. He needs an excuse to get troops in Canada. I guess he'll use fentanyl or something like that. Because the rubes will just repeat it. They don't care. So when she asks, are there going to be troops in Mexico? Hegseth's not a good liar either. He's a drunk. He wears his emotions and his thoughts on his sleeve, just like Donnie. He cannot hide them. He's not a good liar. He's not a good schemer. He's a moron. But he has an agenda. One agenda is getting troops on Mexican streets. I'm not tipping my hand. That's all I need to hear. Yes, that's what he's going to do. Do you know where the homeless people are going to go? Nope. Who cares? What do you say to people who are worried about martial law? The intention of this president is to establish law and order. No, he's a convicted felon, and none of you care about law and order anyway. You voted for a convicted felon. He's going to go full Reich, and you're all going to be enslaved. That's what's going to happen. Okay? Cool. Will the National Guard be detaining people? Until Title 32, which is authorization they'll be using, they have broad latitude. Yes, they will be detaining people. Yes, you're living in a Reich. Yes, it's the apocalypse. Yes, he's the Antichrist. Yes, these are all sycophants that will never say no. Yes, the military is perfectly fine with going along. You're fucked. It's over. The country's over. A lot of you chose it. I didn't. I'm just guiding you through it. And that's all we have for this evening. And when the mark comes, my final message, as always, you must say no. And hopefully, you'll get off one day soon preaching that rounding up homeless people at gunpoint is a good idea. I hope you get off that train. Because Jesus ain't on it with you, son, and he never will be. No matter how many times you say his name, no matter how much you put in a collection plate. So when the mark comes, please just say no. For your own sake, I get jack shit out of it. And as always, people, if you'd like to help, I'll put the PayPal at the top of the comment section when this uploads in 3 fucking hours. Because it's an hour and 40 minutes long. And I did not want to do that. Because this ain't live, this is a recording, and that's got to be uploaded. So if you'd like to help out, PayPal at the top. I'd appreciate it. Have a wonderful evening. Until the next episode.